Hello and welcome to I guess a reaction piece with MerK and I. There was some major news in the CDL. We have a lot to talk about, but I guess I just want to hear gut reaction right away.
I mean, no brainer in my mind. I think to some people, Thieves was on the up and up, and I think it just comes at a weird time.
Yeah.
But the fact is Huke is a franchise player. This is not only a player that can lead your franchise now, but for many years to come. And when that player comes knocking at your door and says, I want to play here, it does not matter to me. A lot of the situations you say, come on in. You give him the king bedroom. That's what I'm saying right away. Some people were a bit shocked, but I love the move. Again, you build around Huke.
I kind of want to dial it back and talk about Huke and Empire, like in the Envy brand, because Joe, for a long time, like he was their guy, like their shining star. It seemed that everything was going to build around him, and I think that's part of what's a little shocking about all of this.
100%. I think with Hector and Mike and, OpTic and Hastro, their relationship, Hastro for a long time was trying to find his person. Who am I going to build around? He found Huke, and he made sure he had Huke. He knew what a talent he was. That was his guy that said, this guy is going to be the head of our franchise for years to come. He can play multiple FPS titles. The kid is that talented, and he did just that. I don't know if it's one of those things where you won us a world championship. You've been with us for so long. If you want to go play, like, we have to have the mutual respect to say, all right, and thank you for everything you do. But it happened fast, like really, really quick.
Well, it's weird because like we heard he wanted to leave. Like I remember hearing that like before the Empire team that he wanted out and he couldn't get out because like he was locked in on like a long-term contract. Like they paid him a ton to be the guy. Yeah, I was blown away. Do you have, I know we don't know exactly what went down, but the whole thing was a bit weird, right? Like just him being benched and how it went down.
I mean, this was a guy that, was a potential stage 1 MVP.
Yeah.
Stage 2, it's not like they were bad. They're still top 4. And then basically what I've heard is maybe a couple of players looked at the game a bit differently. He had one way. Some of the other guys had another way. And that was it. We're not in the room. I would imagine with Rambo being a part of it, he had some stuff to say. But yes, it happened fast. I actually can't believe it. And I still can't believe it that they didn't try to make it work for a longer period of time. And especially that trio. Looking back last year, it was Shotzzy, iLLeY, and Huke. Like Zio, XEO, that's what they had themselves like pretty much branded it as. And I thought this is Dallas for years and years and years to come.
That's why it's so weird to me too, because I guess I feel like, let's say it did come down to a clashing of minds. I feel like it wouldn't have been Huke and the young guys. At least I wouldn't think so. I feel like it would be him and Crim. That's just how I would logically view it.
Yep.
But like if it came down to that, wouldn't you want to keep Huke?
Yeah.
That's why it's so weird to me. Like, I don't know.
But that, I mean, maybe there's more to it. Maybe
yeah, there's gotta be. There's gotta be.
Maybe there's what we think on one end is Huke's by himself. Like maybe all 3 or 4 of the people in the room really.
They have to.
Yeah. It's got to be a majority thinking one way, but didn't expect it.
I say this. I've said it several times on broadcasts, and I always forget who said it. I don't remember if this came from Huke. If it came from like talking to Slasher at a hot mic or Crowder, but someone told me that Huke, like he's a competitive guy, but like he's a little different in the fact that he'd be very content playing with his friends, having fun, competing. And some people are like that, but I guess the only reason I'm bringing that up is if it wasn't maybe a good atmosphere for him. I feel like Thieves will be godlike for that. Personally, like I just see this team vibing the hell out.
Yeah, and I think it's just a change of environment, which is probably a little exciting for Huke. You've been in a place for a long time, how one place runs an organization. You want to sort of check out the other organizations, and why not Thieves ran by 100 Thieves? And yeah, there's a lot of great assets there. They're having fun. We've been seeing them have a lot of fun, and I think maybe I don't want to say like the pressure's off, because the pressure's actually on again for Huke, right? Like to perform a very
the way
high
they've been
level.
playing. Yeah,
but it feels like it's a little bit more just like free flow there at times when we're watching them compared to others, right? They're just sort of vibing.
Well, now I want to talk about like the decision for like who it was going to be, because you have Drazah on the team, you have Venom, you have some relatively new players. But I guess what it boils down to for me is you and I talk about this all the time. Like what separates the good from the great usually is consistency. And TJ is probably the furthest thing from that word. He is God or a bot at times. Like, I swear, he is dominating the map, or I don't know where the hell he's going sometimes. And he's a good player, but it's just been so up and down for, what, 3 years now?
Yeah, I think, like
something like that. It's been a long time of just, I don't know what I'm going to get from TJ.
Like, he's obviously still a very good player, will have his moments. I think it's less about the ceiling, because right now what we're seeing out of Kenny, Huke, and now Drazah, those 3 players are playing at a very high level. I think it's more about the floor of Venom, and maybe what they're seeing is he doesn't have a very low floor compared to what we've seen at times from TJ.
And I guess I think, like, let's say if it was a conflict of how to play the game at Empire, and maybe Huke wanted to fly, obviously. He's been frying so far. I guess I feel like if you have a guy on the team, one guy doing that's just sort of running around, dropping bombs, that's all right. Because I feel like TJ maybe would make the wrong play sometimes, but he wasn't having big games every game. If Huke is doing that and having a 1.2 every game, okay. As long as the other guys are in their spots, I guess I see it working out fine, but it's just odd. Dude, I don't know. It's just odd to me.
As well as LA Thieves is playing throughout Stage 3, they are struggling in the submachine gun slaying. And when you look at our top teams, Toronto Ultra and Atlanta FaZe, where do they really set the standard? It is with those SMG duos on the map right now. Right now, in hardpoint, TJ's at like a 0.8. TJ in search is at like a 0.76. You know, his best game mode is control right now, where Venom is right around pretty much a 0.9 for everything. So if these guys want to compete with the best teams in the world, I mean, we just saw it. I literally made a key to victory with their match against Atlanta FaZe. Their SMG duo was outslayed by 50, 60 kills across 5 maps. That cannot happen consistently. Yeah. Huke changes that immediately.
Yeah, no, I think Nade tweeted something like, you know, he's a franchise guy. I think when it's all said and done, he has the chance to be the best player of all time. Does Huke really have a realistic shot to get in that conversation if he gets on a dominant team? Why the hell not? Like, I do think he is that talented, 100%. And I hope this doesn't somehow backfire, though, in the sense of I want it to work out just because, you know, Thieves came in. I was really excited to have them now in the Call of Duty League. It was a start, right? Like, it was not what you expected with that roster.
Stage 1 was okay. Stage 1, they got top 6.
Yeah,
they were undefeated throughout the groups until the
last
last
okay
week.
What you expect from that organization and those players, though. Like, it's not. I guess I feel like that they should have a team that's going out and competing for championships constantly.
Stage 1 was not horrible. Stage 2 was horrible. Stage 1, you saw moments. They were like 4-1 in groups, whatever it was. And we were like, okay, they're going to get better. And then they fell apart.
But let's talk about, like, I guess the impact this has on the rest of the league. We talked about, like, Envy. We talked about Thieves. What does this do to everyone else?
It hurts them. Plain and simple, there's another juggernaut here. What I like too is they're going with it right away. They didn't bring on Huke and say we're going to complete this roster throughout the Stage 3. They're competing with Huke right away. They understand that this is a long-term move. We are going to consistently get better up until playoffs, and they are in playoff contention right now. So a lot of the other rosters were probably hoping that they could snag up Huke. I'm sure there was a lot of inquiries for him. I mean, why wouldn't there be?
He's an upgrade for every single team outside of FaZe. I mean, you could say Ultra, but I think me as a person and the history of it all, I think I'm taking Huke on every team outside of FaZe.
I think you probably just want to mess with the chemistry right now in Ultra.
Yeah,
I know that's correct. The way that they're
thinking
going,
long term, like the future.
No, 100%.
Like, would you take? Bance has been incredible, but would you take Bance or Huke over the next 5 years?
Yeah, well, that's different. Yeah, the next 5 years, it's Huke.
Yeah. And I guess I'm just thinking in like franchise terms, not like the next major.
Well, that adds another layer to this too. For the LA Thieves, is now franchise guys for me are Kenny and Huke for this team. Those two are going to probably be a part of LA Thieves for a long time, I would assume. You now attract a ton of talent. There are so many guys that want to be like, I want to play with those two.
Yeah.
I will take a pay cut to go play with Kenny and Huke. That is going to happen. That is a thing in sports, and we will see it happen within our leagues if it doesn't happen already.
I think that covers it, man. But wow, I didn't see it going down like that. This big of a player to just get benched and go to a team that could make them a championship team.
There's only a few players that I think you can realistically build a franchise around. Who's one of them?
Yeah, I think we agree. This is a gigantic, enormous, huge win for LA Thieves. Big L for everybody else. Good luck. We're getting ready to continue on this stage and look forward to the next major. Excited to see what Thieves can do, but props. You got a big pickup. Hoping it works out. Hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown.